It's far from it. It's not, you know what, it's not so much the language, so much as the pronunciation of words that throws me off. It's just what Americans have done with the language. You guys have just, wow, you've done something. You've put 22s on the English language. You've got rims that says, pimp my language. That's what you've gone with, you know? I don't understand. I was chatting to this woman downtown the other day. She came up to me and she wanted me to see something. I don't know what though. She was like, oh my God, look over there. I said, look over what? She's like, over there. Look at that her. And I said, her? She's like, no, her. Look, there's two of them? I understand nothing. Even the small words, just the pronunciation. You know, small things that get you by. For instance, I pronounce the opposites of uncle as aunt. I say my aunt. Out here you say my ant, which to me is an insect, which made me look like an ass when my friend told me his aunt died. And I was like, so what? There's tons of those out there. What a great way to end a friendship. I couldn't get help the other day when searching for a battery for my remote control, because that's what I say, battery, a small form of power. So in America, you say battery, which to me is a different form of power. Sponsored by Chris Brown. And you know what, I understand. We live on different sides of the globe, so it's fine. The language will evolve. This is something I've come to understand. But I hope I change one thing in your hearts forever. Just one thing. And that is that animal in the wild that looks like a horse. It has black and white stripes. Yeah, do me a favor. From now on, please, it's not zebra. Okay? It's zebra. Yeah? Just like it's not Debra, it's Deborah. Same structure of word. Plus, you cannot name them because you do not have them. Zebra. This is madness. Everything out here is different. Do you know how hard it is to learn when you come out here? You have to change everything. There's the measurement system, which is just, I mean, America, you guys have your own thing, the imperial system, you know? On my side of the world, we use the metric system, and by my side, I mean the rest of the world, you know? We have the metric system, which is, amongst other things, very efficient. It's a very simple process, you know? Everything goes into each other, and out here you have imperial, which is fine. I mean, I won't judge you. If you want to be imaginary, that's up to you. But I just feel like there's some consistency that's needed. Small things, like for instance, when we abbreviate our small measurement, milligrams, we use mg, milligrams, mg, milligrams. And you guys have ounces, which you then abbreviate OZ. There's no Z in the word, ounces. I don't know. That's pale in comparison to what you've done with pounds. That for me. Please explain to me how the abbreviation for pounds became LBS. Pounds. I look like the idiot walking into the store going, could I please have the 2 labs bag of sugar? Guy was like, you mean pounds? I said, I don't see the P. No, I don't. He said, well, it means pounds. It's not LBS. A lot of bullshit. That's what it stands for. This is horrible. In fact, it's crazy. You do realize the imperial system is so inefficient that even American drug dealers have switched over to metric. Even drug dealers got to the point where they said, we need some order, we're going with metric. And I honestly thought this was an anomaly. I thought, you know what, this is just one of those things, it's a coincidence, but it's not. Americans do not care about abbreviation nor the English language. They don't give a damn. I learned this in the small things. Like for instance, when I was in Tennessee, I stumbled on an organization known as the Ku Klux Klan. You heard of them? Worst magic show ever. Guy gave me a pamphlet. He was like, come and see the Grand Wizard. Grand Wizard, the Grand Wizard. Didn't do one trick. Not even one trick. I mean, I noticed a few black people disappear, but I mean, that's not magic. You know, that's just Reaganomics. I wasn't impressed by that. Like, where's the magic? I sat there forever. These guys running around in their sheets. Yeah! The KKK, as they're affectionately known, has nobody bothered to tell them ever that you do not spell clan with a K. Nobody stopped. Even in America, clan is spelt with a C. The Ku Klux Klan, they're the KKC, not the KKK. You realize that? Ku Klux Klan. The C. In fact, the name is wrong. The whole thing, the Ku Klux parts of it. That's just horrible because they got that, as you know, from ancient Greece. It was Kuklos Alphion, meaning a circle of brothers. And that's how they got their name. They call themselves a Greek circle of brothers, which is wrong for two reasons. One, if your sole purpose as an organization is to hate black people, don't you find it strange that you've now named yourself the Circle of Brothers? And secondly, do they realize that in ancient Greece, circles of brothers were doing very different things with one another? Very loving, very, yeah. If they were really a Greek circle, the sheets would be a bit higher up, just more of a, yeah, maybe one more hole. They're not a... The newspapers say that. He's famous, so now people treat you like you're famous. They start saying weird things to you. Strangest things people would say to me. Trevor, well done on everything, eh? Congrats. But, even though you're going to America, don't forget us, all right? Don't you forget us. I don't even know who you are. People would say the weirdest things to me. You know the number one thing people have said to me? Number one thing? It's not good luck. It's, hey, Trevor, good luck over there. But whatever you do, don't forget your accent, all right? Yeah, please, don't pull a Charlize on us, okay? You keep your accent, man. Make us proud. Everyone said that.
Trevor, brah. Hey, Trevor Noah. Hey, Masakan. Hey, man, you're making us proud, no? Yeah, man, you're doing big things for us, but brother, can I ask you a favor, no? Don't lose your accent, no? Don't lose your accent. Yeah, when you come back from the States, you mustn't come back talking funny, okay? Please, brother. If you lose your accent, don't come back.
You just threaten me? What does that mean, if you lose your accent? How do you lose your accent? People make it sound like you're going to be walking down the street and then just out of the blue you'll be like, huh? My accent! I lost my accent! What the hell is my... Oh. Well, hello? No, that's not my accent! That's my accent! How are you going to lose your accent? I was stressed now. Because I don't want South Africans to think I'm not South African. I don't want them to think I've forgotten something. This is my home. Now I'm stressed coming home. I'm in the plane flying back to Johannesburg, and the whole time I'm just thinking, don't lose your accent, Trevor. Don't lose your accent. Don't lose your accent. Don't accent. Is that how I say accent? Accent. By the time I landed at OR Tambo, I was losing my mind. I walked in arrivals, the woman was there at customs. Welcome back to South Africa, sir. I was like, yes, I'm back. Same old Trevor. Nothing changed. Going crazy. Because I love accents. I really do. I love accents. I like learning languages, and so obviously accents are a byproduct of that. I've learned over time that even if you can't learn a language, an accent is a great way to communicate with somebody in your own language whilst trying to bridge the gap. You learn somebody's accent, you communicate more effectively. The thing is, though, you have to learn the accent in the right way. If you're going to speak to someone in their accent and you do it in the wrong way, you might come across as racist. You've got to be very careful about this. White people in South Africa often fall into this trap. Yeah. It happens at petrol stations quite a bit. See people driving in with their friends, talking normally, sitting in the car. So I mean, if we get all the numbers together, marketing should be behind this. It should be a breezer. HR's stepped up, and it's going to be a great year end. Look, we try and make sure that sorry, hold on. Hello, Baba. Hey, sharp man. Please put Lapo full tanky, eh? 95 unleaded, yeah. Also check our tires, eh? Pressure, pumpy, not too much, eh? 2.2, okay? Yeah, good jobby. Yeah, sharp, donkey boss. Don't do that. He's a grown man. He's been pouring petrol his entire life. He knows what you need. Just talk to him like a normal human being.
That's the thing people don't understand. Speak to him like a normal human being. I used to get so angry. Whenever I'd see white people changing their accent when they talk to black people, I get so angry. I was like, are all white people racist? Is that what it is? You're all racist? And then I learned. Life taught me not to be so quick to judge. Yeah, I learned a valuable lesson. I was driving to Gold Reef City one day, into the backstage area, and the security guard came out to the boom, and he was like, hey, how are you, sir? Is your name on the list? I said, yes, how are you, Baba? My name is Trevor. He's like, okay, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor. He's like, oh, sorry, Chabal. I said, no, Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shalva. Trevor, Shaval. Trevor, Shaval. Trevor, Shaval. And now my friend who was irritated, he just leans over me and he's like, hey, Papa, get Trevor. He was like, oh, Trevor. Why you don't talk properly? And then I understood. I finally understood what white people have been trying to do. I see, you're trying to communicate more effectively. You're trying to engage somebody. But understand this. When speaking to somebody in an accent, the number one rule to understand is an accent is not a measurement of intelligence. Right? An accent is just somebody speaking your language with the rules of theirs. That's all an accent is. So don't speak down to them. Don't patronize them. Speak to them the way you would to yourself. Just try and learn their accent. That's all it is. It's just another accent. Yeah. And I learn them. I spend all my time learning accents. I try. I love it. I learn in restaurants. That's a safe place to start. You learn, you read off the menu, you try and pronounce the words correctly. I was inspired by French restaurants, funny enough. Yeah, whenever I'd go to a French restaurant, I was always fascinated by the fact that people would order food in a French accent. I never understood why. Because they don't do it in any other restaurants. Only in French restaurants do people walk in and then change their accent when they order. They come in talking normally. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. You're really going to enjoy it. It's so beautiful. Yeah, stunning. You have to have, the dessert. Oh, good evening. How are you, sir? Yes, I will have a bottle of water for the table, please. And let's start off with, could we get the Sauvignon Blanc, please? Yes, and we definitely for mains going to have the filet mignon. And for dessert, we're going to go with the crème brûlée. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, you're going to love it. Like, why are you doing that? I never understood. I was like, why? Because it's not like the French are going to return the favor. There's no French people sitting in our restaurants in South Africa looking at the menu like, so for the table, we can order some starter portion with chef something? No? Okay. Could we please have one serving of the boerewors? That's not going to happen.
I'll never forget, I met an American in South Africa. And he said to me, well, Trevor, it's funny you say that because if you come out to America, they'll label you as black. I said, really? And he was like, hell yeah. Oh yeah, everybody's black out there. And I was like, wow, well, I want to be black. And I found out it's true. Mixed race people are categorized as black in America. Yeah. The only catch is, and nobody tells you this, you have to be liked and successful first. Before then, they say you mixed. You achieve success, and you get upgraded to black. All the famous mixed people do it. Singers, like Alicia Keys and Mariah Carey, yeah? Mixed, but then they say black singers. Sportsmen, like Tiger Woods, mixed, but then they say black golfer. The most famous mixed person on the planet by far, Barack Obama, mixed, half and half, straight down the middle. But then they say America's first black president, which is interesting because when he was running, they called him the mixed candidate. I see how it works. Everyone makes it obvious now. They're like, yeah, Barack, of course he won, of course. It wasn't that obvious when he started. It wasn't. I remember comedians coming out. They used to diss him. Guys would come out on stage and be like, man, how many of y'all seen that crazy-ass mixed fool running for president? Y'all seen that mixed fool running for president? What you gonna see? Ain't no mixed fool gonna be president of the United States of America. Ain't no man, which white people gonna be voting for a mixed fool? Even a black man can't win shit. Even a black man can't. How some mixed fool think he gonna do it out? Man, that mixed fool, that crazy-ass mixed fool. How some mixed fool, that mixed fool. And then he won, and all of a sudden they were like, my nigga. So... If there's one country, if there's one nation in the world that has no right to complain about immigration, it's Great Britain. If there's one nation in particular, you do understand, they created the problem that they are now dealing with. They went out and colonized the world. At one point, half of the globe was controlled by the British Empire. Do you understand how insane that is? They went around colonizing from pillar to post. People didn't care about them. No one was trying to find the British. The British were the ones traveling the world, telling everyone of their existence, knocking on doors. Hey, we're the British, follow us. It's basically ancient Twitter, that's what that was. And I'm not saying the British are bad people, by the way. You know? I understand that colonization was something that was popular at one time. Many European countries participated in it. But the British were the best. You know, they were the best. It's not because they were bad. I think I blame it on the weather. That's what I think happened. I think they have bad weather, and bad weather makes you a bad person. Yeah, because if you think about it, there was no one from a tropical climate who was trying to take over the world. You don't ever hear stories of Caribbean conquerors. Yeah, there's no stories of like Troy the Terrible from Trinidad. You don't hear these stories. There's no need for that. When the weather's horrible, you want to go somewhere else and take it from somebody. If you're living in a beautiful paradise, you have no need to leave. Can you imagine that scene? Just some random handsome guys hanging out on a beach in the Caribbean. One looking at the other out of nowhere. Darius! Darius! What, Troy? I was thinking, bro. Stay with me here. I was thinking, right? We should build boats, sail around the world, and force everyone to dance calypso. It wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't happen. The British colonized with class. They went all over the globe. And you know, colonization, we read about it now, and it seems normal, because it's in a history book. They colonize. But when you think about colonization, it is the strangest thing you can think about. Because conquering is one thing. You go to another country, you take what's theirs. You want more. You take the land, you take the resources, you kill the people. That I understand. But colonization, I don't condone, I understand. But colonization is strange, because you go there and you don't just take over. You then force the people to become you. That is such a strange concept. When you think about where the British did it, I mean, they did it in Africa, they did it in Asia. And think about in India. Those cultures could not be more diametrically opposed. And out of nowhere, the British just decided to roll up. Imagine what the Indians must have felt like on that day. Minding your own business, walking through a field. Next thing you know, the British showed up on horseback. Hear ye, hear ye. By order of Her Majesty the Queen, we have arrived. You over there, what is the name of this land? This land over here? This is called India. Well, my good man, I am here to tell you that India is now under the British Empire. And I'm glad that I can tell you that India is exactly where it was yesterday. No, I feel you're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm letting you know that we're here to colonize you by order of the Queen. Who is the Queen? The Queen. The Queen of England, the ruler of Great Britain. She who was ordained by God. Which God? God. The one true God. There are many gods, my friend. What is the name of your God? There is only one God, and his name is God, and you too shall worship him. You want me to worship a God, but you don't want to tell me his name? What are you talking about? There are many gods, okay? There is Shiva, there is Lakshmi, there is Hare Krishna, there are many gods.
what is the name of your God?
His name is God.
You don't know the name of your God?
It's just God.
Is it like mommy or daddy? You want me to worship your God, but you don't want me to tell me his name, huh? How am I going to pray to him? What do I do? Every morning I go to wake up and I pray like, oh, dear God, I was hoping that maybe God, you could help me. No, sorry, not you, other God. No, other God. No, not wrong God. No, God, I was trying to talk to other. No, you're right. I should have asked for her first name. No, God. No, other God, please. No, God behind that God. No, not you today, God. Other God. You're right. He told me he would know I was talking to, and I don't. No, other God, please. That God on that. No, that God. You. Then I wonder why my prayers are not getting answered, huh?
How dare you speak to me like that? Do you know who I am?
No, because you never introduced yourself.
I have come here representing Great Britain.
And I have never heard of Great Britain. Who gave you that name? Well, we did. You called yourselves great? Isn't that a little presumptuous? Shouldn't you wait for other people to tell you how great you are? Huh? Shouldn't you just go around the world and just do good things? Then people go, oh my God, Britain, look how great you are.
Well, I beg to differ. I believe we could do it because we knew instinctively. We are Great Britain.
Well, in that case, welcome to Great India.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. How dare you speak to me like this?
Look, you're the one who dares to speak to me, okay? I was here minding my own business in my land. You came over here riding on your skinny cow telling me that things are going to change. I don't know who you are. All I know is you are really crazy, okay? You're not feeling too right. And I didn't want to say anything, but you look like you're going to faint. In fact, it looks like you have died last week, okay? Something is very wrong with your skin. You're not looking good, my friend. Maybe you should come down. We have a curry. We talk about this.
What are you talking about? I look quite normal.
You do not look normal, my friend. I've never seen anybody with that complexion in my life, okay? You look like you're playing hide and seek with the sun your entire life. I don't know what is happening, but that is not how a person should look, huh? I can see your veins pumping through your skin right now. Do you know how creepy that is? Pumping. If I was your doctor, I don't need X-ray machine. I just go, what is problem? It is your kidney. How do I know? Because you're translucent. That is how I know.
Damn you, we are going to run this country whether you like it or not.
We are not going to do anything you tell us. You're a madman.
We are going to take it. You're not taking. We're going...
She's all yours. Take. Don't play nice. Take.
And that's how the British took over. That's how they took over India. And then, many, many years later, the British, after they were done pillaging, left and went back home. And so it only stands to reason that those Indians, who they had now made British, would seek out the land from whence they came. I don't understand why British people are complaining, going, why are they coming here? Why the hell are you coming here?
Because you told us how great it was, so we came to see for ourselves.
No. Go back to where you came from. Go back. You're not welcome here. This is not your home.
But you said we are all part of the British Empire.
No, when I said part, I meant you are under us, right? We're the British. You are the empire.
What do you mean?
We are the British and you are the empire.
Okay, well in that case, the empire strikes back. Now make some curry and tell me where we're sitting, okay? Let's go.
They can't complain. They cannot complain. If there's one nation in the world, they cannot complain. The truth is, none of us should be complaining. When you think about it, when people term immigration, it just depends on your timeline. All right? So you're an immigrant. When do you measure from? Everyone is an immigrant from somewhere. Whenever I see people have those conversations in America, you know, about these damn immigrants, they're coming over here, these damn immigrants, get out of here, you immigrants. I always wonder what Native Americans must be thinking when they're listening to the words that are being said. You know? People confidently saying, this is not where they came from, this is not their land. And they're like, oh, tell me more. They need to go back because this is not their home. Oh, really? Everyone is an immigrant in some way, you know. When you travel, you see this. I say that to people. That's why I always say to people, I go, travel the world. If there's one thing you will never waste your money on, it's traveling. Travel the world. See another place. Discover a different point of view. Traveling is the antidote to ignorance. And that's so true. It changes your mind, your perspective, how you believe, what you believe. And you know, one of the greatest things you can do when you travel, one of the greatest things you can do is traveling to a country where they don't speak your language. That's probably my favorite thing. Going to a place where they don't speak English just to make you realize how insignificant you really are. You're not the center of the universe. There's another world that exists beyond you. I try and do that all the time. I try my utmost. I go to English-speaking countries, but I try every now and again to go to a country where they speak no English, you know? Like recently, I went to Scotland, right? And again, I had an amazing time. The place was beautiful. It was a different culture, rich in history. They have the rolling highlands of Scotland. You know, they've got these castles, beautiful, perfectly preserved, hundreds of years old. In the streets, there's the men playing the bagpipes, wearing the kilts. No black people. But not in a bad way, not in a bad way. Just in a matter-of-fact way, you know? Like when I say that there's no black people in Scotland, I just mean there's no black people. But not like there's a good way and there's a bad. Like the good way is when you get there and you're like, there's no black people, you know? But then there's some places you go and you're like, there's no black people. And that's when you know what I mean? That means some shit went down. You can feel it when you get there. Like Australia, there's no Aborigines. And when you get there, you're like, hey, Australia! You're like, wait, where's all the black people? And they're like, I don't know. They left. You can feel something went wrong. But Scotland doesn't have that, you know? Scotland doesn't have black people because they further north there were no black people. There's not many black things further north. The further north you go, the whiter things become. You know, it's the people, the Christmas, the bears, everything changes. I'm sure if you went to a Scottish person and said, excuse me, sir, are you racist? He'd be like, I don't know. I never tried. I had so much fun in Scotland. I remember I was in Glasgow for a week. I was driving around in the back of a car, and every single day, I would try and spot black people. It was like a little game that I played by myself. Every day, I would just be there like, black person, black person, black person, black person, black person. Ha! No, statue. Black person, black person, black person, black person, black person, black person. Ha! No reflection. Black person, black person, black person, black person. No black people anywhere. None. And that's why I say traveling is important. Because I'd never been to a place where there were no black people before. It actually made me realize I love everything about LA, even the things that people hate about LA, I love the traffic in LA. It's like one of my favorite experiences. Yeah, when you don't live here, it's great. It's wonderful. Because you get to be a part of it, but you know it's not yours forever. It's like another person's child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get to be like, this is crazy. Have it back. That's what it feels like. I love it, man. I love the vibe, you know. I love driving out here. You know, and while I'm out here, I get to listen to the radio, because you guys have great radio stations, because you're always in your cars, you know. In New York, like radio's not a big thing for me living in New York. I ride my bicycle, I walk through the streets, I can't listen to music because I'll die. But in LA, that's all I do. You just listen to music. Now these days when you're driving around, all you hear is trap music. That's the big thing you hear is trap. That's the new music on the radio. It's really fun, trap. I don't understand what they're saying, but I enjoy it, you know. Yeah, every single song is the same. Every trap song to me sounds like a toddler complaining about life. That's all I hear when I listen to trap songs. Every time a trap song plays on the radio, I think of my little brother. He'll go outside, he'll like hurt himself, he'll come back crying, and it sounds like every single trap song ever. He'll like walk in like, and I'll be like, yo, Isaac, what happened, buddy? He'll be like, and I'll be like, yo, dude, slow down. I thought you were playing with your friends. What happened? All my friends are dead. With me to the end. All my friends are dead now. Give me to the end now. And it's on the leader. I'll be like, yo, go talk to your mom, man. I don't know what you're saying. Go talk to your mom. The city of angels. I love every moment, man. I'm enjoying myself. I just got back from vacation, so I'm having a great time. You know when you got that vacation swag? You know, you still got that thing, you know, you still feel loose, you feel relaxed. I went to Bali on vacation, yeah, out in Indonesia. Yeah, if you've never been, make a plan and get out there. It's an amazing place. I went out with some of my friends, learned a few things about myself as a person. Most important thing I learned is somebody needs to invent a TripAdvisor specifically for black people, right? No, because just generally I find that what white people want to do on vacation is what black people are trying to escape. And not in a bad way, it's just like we want different things out of life, you know? Like my white friends are always inviting me camping, for instance, always. Like with enthusiasm, we're like, Trevor, you want to go camping, dude? I'm like, why? Why? It's like, dude, what do you mean why? It's amazing, you're kidding me? It's like no water, no electricity, you know? It's just like us in the great outdoors. You gotta like take a dump in the hole in the floor or something, dude. I'm like, yeah, that was my life. That was me growing up. You know how hard I worked to never go camping again? Every day I wake up in my bed and I'm like, thank God I'm not camping. If my family saw pictures of me camping, they would be devastated. My grandmother saw me out in the woods. She'd be like, oh, what happened to Trevor? Oh, I thought he was successful. Oh, it must be the crack. I want to go camping. So I went with my friends to Bali. They planned the trip. And before we went, I asked my friend, I was like, yo, Mitch, what are we going to be doing? And he was like, dude, don't ask questions, Trevor. It's just going to be a great time. I was like, yeah, I want to know what the great time is going to be about. He's like, dude, don't ask questions. I should have asked questions. Because we had fun. But the trip, like there were a few things that were weird that I wouldn't necessarily do on my own. For instance, on the third day of the trip, right, we had what was planned, what was built in our itinerary as an authentic Balinese experience. Right? That's what they called an authentic Balinese experience. And what they did was, they woke us up at 5 a.m., put us in a little bus, and we drove for like 3 hours. And when we got there, get out of the bus, we're like in the middle of it, it's like a remote village, and the little tour guide, really happy, way too happy for that time, and he's just like, welcome everybody, are you ready for a good time? And I'm like, yay. And so he's like, my name is Deng Basan, and I'm going to be your guide. Today, you will have an authentic Balinese experience. So exciting, follow me. And so we follow him, and he walks up to a little door, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be like a temple or a cave or something. And he's like, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the real Bali. And he opens the door into somebody's house. This is not a museum house, this is just a house. Like someone lives there every single day. He opens the door, and he's like, this is the home of someone in Bali. He eats here, he sleeps here. I'm like, does he know we're here? Because like we didn't knock, nobody answered the door. For all I know, we're breaking and entering right now. We're in some weird Balinese gang. I don't know how this works. And as I'm about to ask the question, he turns and he's like, over here you can see the owner of the house. He's in the corner. And we turn and there's a man the whole time. He was just sitting there, frozen stiff. And now I'm like, is this guy part of this? I don't know if we should be doing this or should not be doing this. And Deng Basan turns to him and starts speaking to him in Balinese. He's like, Tengrawada Sangaraka. He's like, okay, you can touch anything. And so I'm like, oh no, I don't think we should. Before I can even finish, the people in our tour group were like, yeah, touch it all. Oh my God, touch it all. Oh my God, does he sleep here? Oh wow, is this where he eats? Oh my God, I could never do this. Oh my God, excuse me, thank you so much for having us. Oh my God, I appreciate my life so much more right now. Thank you so much, this is horrible. Can we take a selfie? Thank you. Are you on Instagram? I'll just put hashtag the man. Thank you. Oh my God. So I'm really awkward right now, right? Because this is like something culturally I'm not supposed to be doing. Right? As an African person, I should not be in somebody's house rummaging through their life. So I'm standing in the corner, really uncomfortable. And the owner of the house, he's really accommodating. He's friendly. You know, he's like, yes, thank you. Enjoy. Thank you. And then he turns and he looks at me. And this was one of the most magical moments, right? Because he was smiling at everyone else. And his face completely changed when he turned.
He's all hospitable. He's like, yes, thank you. And with his eyes, he proceeded to have the most in-depth conversation with me that I've ever had. And it's not like the eyes conversation was new to me. Like, you can have an eyes conversation with anyone you have a connection with. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it could be somebody of the same race when you're in public. It could be like a husband and wife. Like, wives are really good at having eyes conversations. They'll shit on you hard. Like, you'll be in public together, and then you'll say something off. You'll be like, oh, if only she did that. And she'll be like, oh, hell no, I cannot believe you said all of that. But it's just eyes. I cannot believe you said all of that. Wait until the next, oh, you want to air our dirty laundry out in public? Oh, you're going to see how this is going to end up. Oh, you say this and enjoy this moment right now, because you know it's over. And you're like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. All with eyes, right? That's what he did to me. Because one minute he's smiling at everybody, and then he turns and he looks at me, and just with these eyes, he was like, what are you doing here? And so with my eyes, I was like, hey, man, I'm sorry, I didn't know this was your house. They said it was an authentic experience, that's why I came. He's like, yeah, authentic for white people. You got your own poor, go back to where you came from. I said, yeah, I shouldn't be here, man, I'm sorry, man, I'm sorry. So I left. I go outside. About 15 minutes later, everyone's done with their poverty porn, so they come and join me. And Dengba-san follows the crowd. And he's having a blast, you can tell. You know, he walks out and he's like, everybody have a great time? I know you enjoyed that. Now, it's time for a special surprise. Follow me, everybody, to the back. And he takes us to the back of the house, right? Where there's this area that they've laid out where clearly they have some sort of performance. There's a stage, there's raked seating, and he tells us to find our seats, and so we all sit down. And there's people from all over the world in our tour groups. Myself, my American friends, you got some British people, there's a French family, a dad and his son, they sit next to me. And so I sit in the front row, and Dengba-san comes back out, and all of a sudden he's wearing like a giant Balinese headdress, looking really beautiful, you know? And he looks at us and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for an authentic Balinese experience? Please welcome the snakes of Bali. I'm like, the what? I'm like, oh, he said snakes. The snakes of Bali. And I look, and there's snakes. There's a group of men gathering snakes to bring out to us. And so I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't, no. No, because you see, as a black person, culturally, I'm trying to not die. So I take all my stuff, I start packing it. And the French guy turns to me and he's like, my friend, where are you going? The show is starting. I said, yeah, no, the guy said the snake's coming, so I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go to the back. He's like, you're moving because of the snake? I said, yeah. He said, why are you moving for the snake, my friend? Are you afraid of a snake? I said, yeah. That's exactly what I am. I'm afraid of the snakes. He's like, such a big man, but you're afraid of a snake? I said, yeah, with a big brain. That's why I'm afraid. It's a snake. Like, you're not gonna trick me into not being afraid of a snake. Like, my toxic masculinity is not so high that I'll be like, yeah, you know what, man? Come on, snakey. Come on. It's a snake. Instead of just letting it go, this guy turns and he's like, I cannot believe it, a big man like this. Hey, Jean-Pierre. He turns to his son. He's like, Jean-Pierre, monsieur le droit de l'huissier, le serpent, parce que du le pardon ici, le... And this kid's like, ha ha ha, snake. And he's like, oui, snake. Are you afraid? Snake. What is this? It's a snake. And these two carry on for like 15 seconds non-stop. Right? Just back and forth. Snake the whole time. He's like, snake, are you scared? Snake. I'm like, whatever, man. You guys lost all your wars. So I go to the back. Right? I don't have time for this because there's snakes. So I go to the back, take all my stuff, and I climb up, and I'm sitting at the top, right? Because I want to see the show. I just don't want to be a part of it, okay? And so I've got my stuff, and I move all the way up to the top, and I sit there. And as I get there, the show starts, and Dengba-san's really excited, and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your first performer, the powerful Python." And dude comes out with a giant python wrapped around him, right? And this guy had this cool trick where the python would squeeze him really tight, super tight, so tight you could almost hear his bones cracking. Right? And then he'd make a sound, he'd be like, eh. And the snake would let go. And then it would start squeezing him again, and he'd be like, eh. And the snake would let go. And it would squeeze him again, and he'd make the same sound. He'd be like, eh. And the snake would let go. And I was like, wow, this is dope. This is cool. Yeah, they're in a consensual relationship. I like this. This is,
And so he leaves with the snake. The next performer comes out, and this guy had a green mamba with him, right? And so Deng Basan is like, ladies and gentlemen, the green mamba. And this guy comes out, and he had a cool trick where he took the lid off the basket, and the green mamba would come out, and then it would start doing like a little move, and then someone would play music, and then the snake charmer would dance with the snake, and they'd do the same moves. It was dope. It was like a Justin Timberlake video, just the two of them, okay? Like back and forth. I was like, oh, that was dope. And the snake goes back in, and then Deng Basan came out one final time, and he's like, now, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the final part of the show? Please welcome the King Cobra. And the final performer comes out with a cobra, puts the snake down, lifts the lid, snake comes out. And I don't know what it was about this snake, but you could feel the energy change. Like, they were all snakes, but the snake looked mean, you know? Like it looked like it hated life. There was something about it. Like the snake looked like it had a mortgage. Because it looked at us, and then it fixed its eyes on the charmer, and he was really cool and calm. He didn't even look at the snake. He addressed us. He was like, ladies and gentlemen, they say the cobra can strike faster than a man can blink. But can a man move faster than the snake can think? And I'm like, ooh. I don't know what that means, but I'm in. Because it sounds like a dumb Instagram quote, but I'm in. And this guy had the most amazing trick. What he did was, he got right up close to the snake, right? And he'd put his hands behind his back, and then he would make it seem like he was going to kiss the snake. And the snake would be no further than like a foot from his face. And then he would make this sound, like a kissing sound. And as he made the sound, the snake would try to bite him, and then he'd move out of the way. I've never seen anything like it. So he leaned in, and he's like, come on, snake. Too slow, Snakey. Try again. No love for you, my friend. Come on, Snakey. And all of us are enthralled. Every single one of us. No one's making a sound, no one's moving. And he does it over and over again. And then, to take it to the next level, he closes his eyes, pouts his lips. And I guess at this point, the snake was probably like, oh, I think I figured this out. This dude's gonna make the sound, and then he's gonna move. But if I bite before the sound, I can change everyone's lives. Because that's exactly what the snake does. The guy closes his eyes, pouts his lips. Before he can make the sound, the snake strikes him, pa, bam, hits him on the mouth, right? Cuts his lip open, blood goes spraying everywhere. Now, that should be the end of the story. That should be the craziest part of the story. No, this is the middle. The snake hits him on the mouth, the blood goes spraying. This guy jumps back and then acts like he didn't just get bitten by a snake. Which makes us think we're crazy, because we all saw it. Everyone in the audience was like, oh, and then he jumps back. And he just like shakes it off. You know what he did? He did that thing. You know that thing that people do where like you get their hand jammed in a car door or something? Like, you know, like it's slammed and it'll be like, and then people just be like, He did that, but with a snake. So the snake hits him, the blood sprays, and he jumps back and he's like, Don't worry, we're fine. Don't worry. Don't worry, everybody, we're fine. Relax, relax, we're fine, we're fine, we're fine. But we weren't fine. You know how we know this? Because his face started melting on the one side, right? So his face starts melting, his lips starts turning blue, and he goes back to do his kiss trick again, but he can't even stand, and then he looks at the snake looks at him, and he's like, okay, show is done, good night, everybody, goodbye, good night. He runs off. And all of us are just like, what the hell just happened, right? He runs off. I have questions in my head. I'm like, is he gonna be okay? Do we get our money back? How does this work? And then we turn back and we realize he's forgotten his snake. And you know what the worst thing was? Is it seemed like the snake realized the same thing at the same time. Because the snake also watched him leave. And then as we turned back, the snake was also like, oh shit. And so now, it's just us and the snake. And mind you, there's no barrier, right? There's no concrete, there's no glass, there's nothing. It's an authentic Balinese experience. So we're all staring at the snake is staring at us. And then one genius decided now would be the perfect time to get an Instagram picture. And I don't know if it was the camera, the sound, or the flash. All I heard was click, and the snake jumped up and was like, and we were all like, and then it was chaos. Pandemonium ensued. Now don't forget, I was at the back, so I just jumped over. I was like, haha, being black saved me. I was out. Panic ensued. Everyone jumps up. People are trying to scramble, like trampling over each other. The French guy was my favorite because he jumps up and he's like, Sacre bleu! Le serpent! Le serpent! Allez, Jean-Pierre, allez! And he's pushing the people and he's running. He's like, allez, Jean-Pierre, Jean-Pierre! And when he turns, his son hasn't moved, right? So little Jean-Pierre is planted to the spot, terrified. And you see his face, he's like, Papa! 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 He's like, Jean-Pierre, allez, mon ami. He's like, Papa! Papa! And so the dad realizes he's got to go back in and save his kid, right? But now this is one of those moments where I think you can see the fundamental difference between mothers and fathers, right? Because a mother would run in without thinking and she'd be like, I will die for my child. Strike me now, snake, right? That's moms. Dads will also save their kid, but in the back of their head, you know the dad is thinking, yo, I'm gonna save my kid, but I don't wanna die. I mean, I don't wanna die because this dumbass didn't know to run when his dad was running. I mean, there's a snake, and I start running, why wouldn't you run at the same time? Now I gotta die for your dumbass, which makes no sense, because I can make another one of you, you can't make another one of me. I should just make you a brother and we can mourn your dumbass death together. I don't even know why we're doing this right now. I think that's what the dad was thinking, right? Because he didn't fully commit. Instead, he tried to sneak in behind his kid. And then he grabs the back of his hoodie and yanks him to safety. So now little Jean-Pierre is choking in the ground. He's like, and he finally gets him to the side. And another snake charmer comes running out, grabs the snake, puts it in the sack. And finally, danger's averted. Everybody's safe. Everyone is safe, but terrified. Some people are crying, others are in shock. I'm standing on the side watching all of this. Little Jean-Pierre's there with his dad. They're both in tears. He's like, désolé, mon ami. Désolé, Jean-Pierre, désolé. And he's like, Papa, le trou de léger le poids de la joie. Le poids de... And I don't speak French, but I know this kid was like, you asshole, you left me. I'm gonna tell mom. And so I'm staring at them. And I guess they could feel that I was staring. So they both stopped at the same time. And they turned and looked at me, and I looked at them. And in that moment, I realized we're all human beings. We'll experience the same thing. We went through the same trauma. No matter what happened to us before, we're all human beings. Because they looked at me, and I could see in their eyes what they'd just experienced, what I'd experienced. And in that pause, I bent down, I got real close to them, and I was like, snake.